So one of the most popular types of real estate investing strategies has become the value add or BRRRR strategy, right? Where you as an investor can buy a property that needs some work, you can fix it up and then refinance your proceeds back out and hold on to the property. Now, what I thought I would do in this video is talk about some scenarios where you want to actually really critically think about what kind of renovation you're going to be doing with your property, and actually give you an example of where you might want to position the property to generate less rental income in order to improve the overall BRRRR project. So I'm going to be talking about this case study, and this is, if you're doing BRRRR deals or if you're starting to do this, you want to pay attention because you have to think strategically when executing. So with that, let's get at it. What's going on, guys? My name is Lior and welcome back to my channel. Now, before I get into the meat and potatoes of the video, two super quick things, guys. Number one, if this is your first time on my channel, first of all, welcome. Second of all, make sure you smash that subscribe button. I put out tons of videos all the time on this channel, talking all different facets of multifamily investing. I talk about finances, lending, acquisitions, give you guys tours of my own projects, and literally everything in between. So if that's the kind of content you're looking for, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and that way you will know all about my videos. So with that, let's get into this case study I wanted to talk to you guys about, where, again, one of the things that I thought about as we were kind of planning this project out was we might have to position the property to generate less rental income in order to actually improve the project, right? And here was the situation. So we were dealing with a 3-unit property, right? And if you guys are not familiar with, I'm from Boston, where a lot of our, most of our inventory, at least a big chunk of our inventory stock tends to be like 2, 3, and 4 families. So we were looking at a 3-unit building that was quite big. It had the 5 bedrooms, 1 living room, and a kitchen in each unit. Now, the obvious choice would have been, that originally we were thinking about was to create 5-bed, 1-bath, apartments, right? And, the more bedrooms typically you can add, obviously the bigger rental income that you can generate, and that's all good and well. But one of the things that we were thinking about as we were actually thinking about executing the strategy, one of the things that's critical for a BRRRR deal is to get a really high appraisal on the back, right? Because the higher appraisal you can get on the back side of once you're done with the renovation, the more money you can pull out from the back end, which, if you're borrowing funds or raising funds, is critical, right? So that you can return capital to the right people. So one of the things we were talking about is, we were kind of nervous that a 5-bed, 1-bath, type of 3-family where all those units are like that are not necessarily going to have the highest possible appraisal, right? Because, when you're dealing with smaller multifamily, you're not necessarily appraising the property on an NOI basis, but you're actually appraising it on a comp basis, right? So what would be more attractive than a 5-bed, 1-bath? Well, actually doing a 4-bed, 2-bath, right? Because A, that's a much more common product type, at least in the Boston area, right? Having 4 beds and 2 baths. And B, in general, having more bathrooms, right? That's gonna actually increase quite a bit your appraisal value, especially in a small multifamily, right? Because that's very unique. When you see 2 bathrooms in an apartment in a multifamily, typically means it's been renovated and it's in much better condition, right? So that's one of the things that we were thinking through is, do we reduce a bedroom, right? And add a bathroom where we know that our rental income on the 4-bed, 2-bath is probably gonna be a little bit less than a 5-bed, 1-bath, but the appraisal on the back end is actually gonna be quite a bit higher, obviously leading to a huge advantage of giving us a higher appraisal, allowing us to take out a potential higher back-end loan with a higher cash out potential. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, okay, well that makes sense, so does the rental income not matter? And the truth is actually it does, right? Because, when you're gonna refinance, another thing that's gonna constrict your loan is gonna be the debt service coverage ratio, right? And if you're not familiar with that, I've done plenty of videos on this channel, so make sure you check them out. But basically with debt service coverage ratio, right, the amount of loan that you can get on your refinance is going to be constricted also based on an NOI analysis, of the building, right? Because basically the lender's going to say, okay, your new mortgage payment is going to be X, your current NOI is Y. we need to make sure that there's at least 25% coverage between your NOI and your mortgage payment so that you can, you can float the building comfortably. So that certainly is a factor in this kind of, in this kind of equation. But after obviously running the math, we saw that, even if we're not necessarily generating the rental income of a 5-bed, 1-bath, and generating the income of 4-bed, 2-bath, we can still basically pull out just as much cash. It won't necessarily constrict us on the type of loan that we can get on the refinance. So again, you want to make sure to do that analysis so that you're not shooting yourself in the foot. But hopefully what this makes you, what this case study and video makes you think of is that there is a little bit more, than just a one-dimensional path when doing these sorts of projects, right? Again, obviously you always want to try and maximize your rental income. That's real estate investing 101. But when you have multiple pieces moving, right, and especially if you're going to be looking to do a cash out refinance, right, you got to make sure that you're doing everything to really maximize that back end value so that you can pull out more money on the back end and again, pay off investors or whoever funded your funds into the deal. So hopefully that's helpful. I know this is a little bit of a, this is kind of something different that you might not have heard about in the BRRRR strategy. Hopefully this kind of makes your juices flow. If you're gonna be tackling a project like this or thinking about tackling a project like this, make sure you think more than just one step ahead, right? Make sure you think multiple steps ahead, not just the cash flow and not just maximizing the rental income, but also maximizing your back end value and your cash out refinance potential. So hopefully that's helpful, guys. Of course, if you have any questions, make sure you put them in the comments below and I will definitely help you.